Welcome to Vicky Whispers, your serene space for peaceful evenings and the best sleep time. Here you will find sleep stories and bedtime stories crafted to help you relax, unwind, and drift into deep sleep. Before we begin tonight's journey, take a moment to get cozy. Find a comfortable position, whether you're lying in bed, snuggled under a blanket, or resting in your favorite chair. Let your body sink into comfort as you prepare for a night of sleep and relaxation. Now, take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it gently and slowly release through your mouth. Feel the tension melt away as you get sleepy, your body softening with each exhale. Let go of the today's weight and give yourself permission to relax completely. Close your eyes or let them rest softly. With each word of this bedtime story, you'll feel yourself getting sleepy fast, your mind quieting, and your body preparing for deep, restorative sleep. This is your time to unwind, your sanctuary for calm and relaxation. Let my voice guide you as we embark on a soothing journey together. Allow the words to carry you closer to serenity, to the best sleep time you've ever had. Now, let's begin. The Three Brothers by Grimm Brothers. Modified and read by Viktor Hejna. Long time ago, in a quiet countryside village surrounded by lush forests and rolling hills, there lived a man of modest means. He owned nothing in the world except the house he called home, a quiet cottage that had stood for generations. This house was not just a structure, it was a testament to his family's legacy, built by the hands of his forefathers and passed down through years of love, toil, and perseverance. The man treasured it deeply, for it was the only connection he had to his ancestors. The man had 3 sons, each with his own strengths and ambitions. Despite their differences, all 3 shared a common desire. They wanted to inherit the cherished house when their father passed away. The eldest son, Hans, was a pragmatic and determined young man, known for his sharp mind and knack for fixing things. The second son, Karl, was clever and outgoing, skilled at charming people with his wit and humor. The youngest, Otto, was spirited and bold, with an adventurous streak that often led him into trouble. The father loved his sons equally and couldn't bear the thought of favoring one over the others. The dilemma of deciding who should inherit the house weighed heavily on him. Selling it was out of the question. It would feel like betraying the memory of his ancestors. Yet, dividing the house wasn't practical either. Its charm and utility would be lost. One night, as he sat by the crackling fireplace, pondering the issue, inspiration struck. He called his sons together and proposed a solution. Each of them was to venture into the world and learn a trade, a skill that would set them apart and prepare them for the challenges of life. They were to master their chosen craft and return in 3 years to demonstrate their abilities. The one who excelled the most in their craft, who created the finest masterpiece, would earn the right to the house. The sons embraced the challenge eagerly, each seeing it as an opportunity to prove himself. Hans, the eldest, chose to become a blacksmith. His love for working with his hands and crafting sturdy, useful tools seemed like the perfect match for his trade. He envisioned himself forging weapons and tools so magnificent that no one could dispute his right to the house. Karl, the second son, decided to train as a barber. His sharp eyes and steady hands, coupled with his gift of gab, made him well suited for the trade. He imagined himself attending to nobles and wealthy merchants, his charm making him indispensable to the elite. Otto, the youngest, picked an unusual path. He wanted to become a fencing master. His daring nature and passion for physical challenges led him to this choice. Though the trade was grueling and dangerous, Otto relished the opportunity to prove his mettle both physically and mentally. The father blessed them and set them on their way, giving each a small pouch of coins to help them start their journeys. The brothers agreed to meet back at the family cottage in exactly 3 years, ready to showcase the fruits of their labor. Hans traveled to the city, where the clang of hammers on anvils rang through the air. He found a renowned blacksmith willing to take him on as an apprentice. His master was stern and demanding, but Hans was determined to learn. He spent days and nights in the forge, enduring blistering heat and long hours sharpening raw metal into swords, horseshoes, and tools. Over time, Hans' skill grew. He began crafting intricate designs into his work, earning the admiration of the townsfolk. When word spread of his talents, the king himself summoned Hans to shoe his prized war horses. The task was daunting, but Hans performed it with precision and artistry. The king was so impressed that he paid Hans handsomely and offered him more commissions. With his confidence soaring, Hans thought of his father's house. Surely I will win. He must. No one could create something as valuable as my work. Karl journeyed to a bustling trade city, where barber shops thrived as centers of grooming and socializing. He apprenticed under a master barber who was famous for his refined techniques and clientele of aristocrats. At first, Karl struggled with the intricacies of shaving and styling, often nicking himself and his unfortunate customers. But Karl's charm carried him through his early failures. His quick wit and warm demeanor kept customers coming back, even as he perfected his craft. Over time, his skill matched his charisma. He learned not only to groom, but also to converse, entertaining his clients with stories and gossip. Eventually, Karl became the favorite barber of nobles and wealthy merchants. His master praised him, and his reputation spread far and wide. With my skill and the favor of the elite, the house will be mine, Karl thought. Otto's journey was the most arduous. He sought out a legendary fencing master who lived in a secluded mountain fortress. The master was known for his harsh training methods, and many students quit after just a few weeks. But Otto thrived in the rigorous environment. Days were filled with relentless drills, sparring sessions, and lessons in strategy. Otto endured countless bruises and cuts, but never wavered. He learned to anticipate his opponent's moves, honing his reflexes and precision. His master often tested his resolve with grueling challenges, but Otto faced each one with determination. In time, Otto became an exceptional swordsman, winning tournaments and earning respect wherever he went. Yet he remained humble, knowing the ultimate test awaited him at home. If I can prove myself to my family, he thought, the house will be mine. 3 years had passed, and the appointed day for the brothers' return had arrived. Each made their way back to the family cottage, eager to reunite with their father and to present their skills. The once vibrant man had aged visibly during their absence. His hair grayer and his shoulders slightly stooped, but his spirit remained strong. He greeted his sons warmly, proud of the determination and growth that seemed to radiate from each of them. The brothers, however, faced an unexpected challenge. While they were confident in their respective crafts, they hadn't considered how to showcase their skills in a way that would truly prove their worth. Over a shared meal at the wooden table, where they had once argued and laughed as children, they began to brainstorm. How do we demonstrate mastery? Hans, the blacksmith, asked, his voice heavy with thought. Crafting an intricate tool might take hours. Will that truly impress father? Karl, the barber, leaned back in his chair, tapping his fingers on the armrest. Precision and speed. That's what sets me apart. But how do I show that in a way that's undeniable? Otto, the fencing master, smirked. And what about me? Do I challenge someone to a duel in the front yard? That hardly seems fitting. The father, overhearing the discussion, smiled to himself. He had hoped that their time apart would teach them not only their trades, but also the value of resourcefulness and cooperation. But if by fate an opportunity presented itself before the conversation could reach a conclusion, as they debated, a sudden rustling in the field beyond the house drew their attention. A hare darted out from the tall grass, its lean body a blur of motion as it sprinted across the open land. Karl's eyes lit up. "Perfect," he said, his voice brimming with confidence. Grabbing his barber's tools, a polished basin, soap and a razor, he sprang into action. The hare, oblivious to the attention it had attracted, continued its frantic dash. Karl followed its erratic path with a calm precision born of years of practice. With astonishing skill, Karl began lathering the bear's whiskers even as it raced ahead. His movements were fluid and graceful as it performing a dance choreographed to the hare's rhythm. Not once did he falter. In moments the hare's whiskers were shaved clean, its skin untouched and unscathed. When Karl stood back, the animal paused briefly, sniffing the air, before bounding away, seemingly unaware of what had transpired. Hans and Otto stared in disbelief, and even their father's jaw slackened in astonishment. "Remarkable," the old man finally managed. "Your precision and dexterity are beyond anything I've ever seen. If your brothers cannot match this feat, the house will surely be yours." Karl beamed, but he knew the competition was far from over. Not long after Karl's impressive demonstration, the rhythmic sound of hoofbeats reached their ears. A nobleman's coach appeared on the horizon, its glossy wheels spinning as it hurled down the narrow dirt road towards the village. The horses pulling it were majestic, their coats gleaming in the sunlight as they galloped at full speed. Hans's face lit up with determination. "Now it's my turn," he said, springing to his feet. Without hesitation, Hans grabbed his tools, a hammer, nails, and a freshly forged set of horseshoes, and ran to intercept the coach. The nobleman's driver, startled by the sight of a man rushing toward them, reined in the horses slightly but did not stop. Hans wasted no time, moving with practiced ease. He unshoed one of the galloping horses, deftly removing all four of its worn shoes. The horse barely seemed to notice, its stride uninterrupted. Then, with equal speed and precision, Hans replaced the old shoes with new ones he had crafted himself. All of this he accomplished while keeping pace with the coach. When he was done, Hans stepped back, breathless but triumphant, and watched as the coach disappeared down the road. The nobleman, oblivious to the extraordinary feat, continued on his way. The family erupted in applause, their disbelief matching what they had felt during Karl's performance. "Incredible," said their father, his voice filled with admiration. "You have shown strength, skill, and a level of mastery I would not have thought possible. Your brother has competition indeed." Hans, though modest by nature, allowed himself a small smile. He had given his best effort and knew it would be remembered. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the countryside, Otto began to feel the weight of expectation. His brothers had set the bar high, and the thought of surpassing their feats filled him with both excitement and anxiety. He stepped away from the others, taking a moment to compose himself. Meanwhile, their father pondered the performances he had witnessed. Though he had proposed the challenge as a way to determine who would inherit the house, he had not anticipated the level of brilliance each son would display. His heart swelled with pride, yet he also felt a pang of sorrow. No matter who won, he feared the decision might sow discord among his sons. Perhaps, he thought, this contest will teach them something greater than who deserves the house. Perhaps it will teach them the value of supporting one another, no matter the outcome. As Otto returned, his face resolute, the old man silently hoped his youngest son's demonstration would be just as remarkable, and that it would bring the family closer rather than pulling them apart. The rain began as a gentle patter, the kind that cools the earth and carries the scent of damp soil into the air. Otto, the youngest of the three brothers, stepped forward with calm confidence. His elder siblings had each performed feats that seemed impossible to surpass, but Otto had been preparing for this moment for years. "Father," Otto said, gripping the hilt of his sword, "allow me to show you what I have learned." The father, still marveling at the skills of his other sons, nodded. He was curious to see what the youngest could offer. Otto had always been the most daring, quick-witted, and fiercely determined of the three. Yet his choice of trade, a fencing master, seemed the least likely to provide practical value in their peaceful village. As if on cue, the rain intensified. The drops thickened, falling faster and heavier, drenching the field where the family stood. Otto unsheathed his sword with a sharp, metallic hiss that cut through the sound of the storm. He began to move. His sword became a blur, slicing through the air in wide arcs and tight flourishes. The motion was so fast, so precise, that the falling rain seemed to hesitate above him. Not a single drop touched his clothes, his skin, or even the ground within the small circle he had created. The storm grew more ferocious. The gentle drizzle turned into downpour, and then a torrential cascade. The wind howled, bending the trees at the edge of the field, but Otto remained untouched. His sword whirled faster and faster, a silvery shield against the onslaught of rain. His brothers, Hans and Karl, stood under the eaves of the house, watching in awe. Even they, masters of their own crafts, could not understand how their younger brother was defying nature itself. When the rain finally began to subside, Otto slowed his movements. His sword came to a rest, its polished blade glinting in the faint light of the breaking storm. He sheathed it with the same deliberate care he had drawn it, then returned to face his family. Their father was speechless. The old man had seen many things in his life, but nothing like what Otto had just done. After a long moment, he broke into applause, his weathered hands clapping together with surprising vigor. "This," he said, his voice filled with wonder, "is the true masterpiece. The house shall be yours, Otto." Hans and Karl exchanged glances, and though they had hoped to win the house themselves, they felt no bitterness. They had agreed long ago that their father's decision would be final, and Otto's performance was undeniably extraordinary. "Well done, brother," Hans said, stepping forward to clasp Otto on the shoulder. "You've earned it. You've raised the bar for us all," Karl added with a grin. "But don't think we'll let you rest on your laurels. We'll still be competing, even if it's not for the house." Otto laughed, relieved that his brothers bore him no ill will. Though Otto had officially inherited the house, the three brothers decided to live together under its roof. They had spent years apart, honing their skills and building their identities, but their bond as family was stronger than ever. Each brother set up a workshop in the village, their fame spreading far and wide. Hans became the most sought-after blacksmith in the region, his craftsmanship unmatched. Nobles traveled great distances to have their horses shod by him, or to commission tools and weapons for unparalleled quality. Karl opened a barber shop that became the talk of the town. His precision and flair attracted clients from all walks of life, from local farmers to visiting dignitaries. Otto meanwhile established a fencing academy. His mastery of the blade drew students eager to learn from a man whose skills bordered on the magical. Over time, Otto's academy became a place of learning, not just for swordsmanship, but for discipline, resilience, and the pursuit of excellence. The brothers worked hard, pooling their earnings to maintain and expand the family home. They added new rooms, planted gardens, and even installed a forge and practice yard. The house became a symbol of their unity and success, a beacon of their shared history and achievements. Years turned into decades. The brothers, once young and ambitious, grew older. Their fame endured, and their prosperity allowed them to live comfortably. Yet, their greatest joy was not in their wealth or renown, but in the bond they shared. Even as age slowed their steps and dimmed their eyes, they remained inseparable. When Hans, the eldest, fell ill one winter, Karl and Otto cared for him with unwavering devotion. When Hans passed, the grief was almost too much to bear. Karl, heartbroken, fell ill not long after. Otto, the last remaining brother, stayed by his bedside, holding his hand as he drifted away. Alone in the house they had built together, Otto found solace in the memories of their shared life. When Otto too passed, the townsfolk came together to honor the brothers. They were buried side by side, laid to rest in the same grave, beneath a simple stone that read, "Here lie three brothers, masters of their crafts, united in life and death." The house remained a testament to their love and skill, and the stories of their remarkable lives were passed down through generations. Good night.